You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Hello race fans and welcome to Sim Racing Media. We are live here from the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa, getting ready for the Army Strong 200. I'm Liam Irvig. We'll have Alan Bergen up in the booth shortly. He's currently making some money and paying the bills. Get a little bit of work done late here on a Wednesday night, but appreciate him. Either way, he'll be here shortly. Should be a fun one here today. Iowa always provides for some pretty good action here. It's a 7/8 mile racetrack. 215 laps. I think that stage number there is going to be incorrect. I don't think we're doing stages here, but 5 additional sets of tires in the pits, 3 green-white checker attempts, and 75% fuel window. These guys are going to have to make a little bit more of an economy run here tonight. That's going to be a good one here for the EOL Race Wrap Guy Cup Series. Well, as we get everybody ready for the grid here, Tom Bourne going to be up in front. Surprise, surprise. Let's go ahead and get you guys our starting lineup for the race here today. Tom Bourne and Peyton Holland make up row number 1. Brock Whitehead and Brandon Cooper in row number 2, followed by Ryan White and Wes Fuller. White had himself a time in Watkins Glen. Christian Rose with Noah Jackson to his outside. Adam Stewart and Charlie Childress make up your top 10. Jeff Kleinsma, Dalton McKinney in row number 6. Matt Davies, Trey Whitehead. Trey Whitehead usually up here with us or in the race control booth making a one-off start. Zach Woods, Joseph Grijalva, Caleb Collins, and Thad Teasley in row number 9, followed by Bill Hagan and Chris Hubka rounding out the top 20. Justin Hutchison and Patrick McQuaid going to be row number 11 with Charles Whitehead and Cameron Coster to his outside. Tyler Bentley and Mark Gonzalez, both quick drivers we expect to see towards the front, followed by Tim Henderson and Cole Martin to round out the field here today. Getting ready for 215 laps at the fastest short track on the planet, the Iowa Speedway. Very dusty right now. These guys have had a little bit of time since practice, and you can see some of that dust going up onto or into the air. And it does sound like we've got our boy Alan here. It's going to take us just a moment while he gets his headset on, and we can make sure that you hear him. But Alan, you've made it in time for the green flag. How you doing, man? How was work?
Oh man, it's been a day. But hey, we're here. Never mind my day job. We're here for 215 laps of high flying action here at Iowa. The best track on the planet, in my opinion.
Well, that's what they say on the walls as well. The fastest short track on the planet. The Iowa Army Strong 200 is just about ready to get to rolling here. 28 of the best to get it done on Wednesday night. All entries have gridded. Now it's in the hands of Tom Bourne. It's actually in the hands of the starter. He's going to wave that green flag, and we are underway here in Iowa. 215 laps of heart-stopping action coming your way.
Yeah, down to turn number 1, nice and clean. Tom Bourne, Peyton Holland, almost too wide. And Liam, this is like the perfect racetrack that Rusty Wallace actually helped design. He wanted a racetrack that was going to be hard on these cars and a very technical racetrack, and we got it here.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see just how wide this racetrack is, especially down the front straightaway. Expect to see some guys turn it all the way down coming up off of turn number 4 to shorten that distance. Trying to set up a pass, getting into the corner. Tom Bourne holding on to this race lead. Peyton Holland has gotten side by side with him. He's trying every which way from Sunday.
And twice on Sunday.
Sometimes, you know, you just got to go for it on Sundays. Take a look at the weather for the race so far. Humidity at 74, but it's not really going to do much for these cars. It's a 66-degree air temperature, 70-degree track temp, and that's going to stay cool and get cooler as we transition on into the night.
Yeah, definitely lap 4 of 215 so far. Clean and green. We are, you know, single filed out, really.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take long at a track like Iowa to get single filed out. These guys are aware of how tough this track can be, and you don't want to find yourself in trouble early. Let's take a look now at that Redline Racing 22 of Joseph Grijalva, who's got some friends and family in the chat. Of course, El Paso is always ready and watching, and Go Army as well. We are in the Army Strong 200.
Yeah, just want to bring up Joseph Grijalva just for a little bit. You know, had that tire situation last week in Indy where the Fords were one set short on the rest of the field and, you know, somehow managed to make it to the podium.
Yeah, absolutely incredible effort and being able to overcome that adversity. It's honestly, you could argue it's almost a death sentence to get, 2 sets less tires than everybody else. But Grijalva was able to make it work, and good on him for it. It was exciting to watch the end of that race there in Indianapolis.
Yeah, definitely. As Peyton Holland is, you know, fallen almost into the clutches of Brock Whitehead, and this is a patience type racetrack, Liam. One track that I actually love running, and I actually do run decent here. Looking a little deeper in the field, Wes Fuller. Haven't seen him this season, but here he is making his debut, if you will.
I think we've seen him around. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, Wes Fuller currently sits 26th in points. He's 155 behind Mr. Whitehead, Brock Whitehead, to be more specific. So we don't see him every week, but we're seeing him this week. He's up on the outside right now, losing a spot to Christian Rose. Both of those drivers have lost a couple of spots since the start of this race, and both drivers started inside of the top 10, currently not sitting there. Not the way that they want this race to start off, but we do have quite a long way to go. We're going to see the track make some changes throughout the course of these 200 more laps, or 210 more laps, rather. Can't get too discouraged if you're not where you want to be at this stage in the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, about here at running at Iowa is, you know, like I said, it's a long run type racetrack. I'd rather have long. You know, you're playing the long game all night long. I've never played the short game here.
Yeah, I mean, this track is so abrasive on the tires, and I know we see a situation with they've got some newer pavement on some of this racetrack, but apologies for that. But it is a really abrasive racetrack. I know we've got some spots of new pavement out here, and that's going to help a little bit, but you're still facing a lot of G-forces on a relatively flat oval. It's going to be easy for you to slide up out of there. And it's going to be like, oh, trouble there. Some contact between the 4 and the 14. Up the racetrack goes Adam Stewart. He's going to keep it straight there, but that was quite an aggressive bump and run getting into turns 3 and 4 off the bumper of Christian Rose. Adam Stewart might not be too happy about that. Take a look at everybody fanning out in this group here, getting through turns 1 and 2. Tyler Bentley is out there trying to make hay. You've also got Zach Woods in the middle of that group, Justin Hutchison. Can't forget the 24 of Charlie Childress working that bottom side, and the all red and black 24 this week.
I like it. I can get behind the 24 car there.
Well, he would like for everybody to get behind him here.
Absolutely.
Is that the T-Rex car?
That is the T-Rex car. They brought back T-Rex.
Well, I suppose Humpy Wheeler. Is that who it was?
So here's the story behind the T-Rex car, and I've heard it many times throughout the video. So the T-Rex car was an experimental car where they wanted everybody to put their ideas together. They took it to Charlotte, and it was an absolute turd, right? So Ray Evernham, the modified guy that he is, put some different shocks on there and pretty much put a modified setup on there. And it ran 2/10 quicker every time he got on the track.
Not 2/10
So
quicker
Gordon,
than his previous times. 2/10 quicker than anybody else on the racetrack.
Correct. So, you know, they run the race, and the Big Bill France calls, you know, Ray Evernham up into the NASCAR hauler, and Ray Evernham thinks he's going to congratulate him and on a job well done, and he says that car is illegal, and Ray Evernham's like, no, it's not. It passed all the inspections, and he goes, it won't be legal in the morning. So just a funny story about that T-Rex paint scheme.
A classic situation of one of the racing geniuses on the box, Ray Evernham, finding advantages for his cars to make them quick. This group continues to battle. Adam Stewart at the front of it. You saw him get sideways off the front bumper of the 14. Now he's trying to keep Charlie Childress behind him, and here comes Childress taking that little bit lower line down the front straightaway, and that is going to be advantageous. It is a, you know, with the curve on the front straightaway, it is a shorter distance to take that lower line. And it's not, I don't think, going to be like a Phoenix, where once you take that dog leg, you're scrubbing off the speed that you would have had if you would have stayed on the track, because this curved straightaway goes all the way around. So you're going to be able to see that outside lane prevail a little bit, but 24 can take that really shallow entry to keep himself next to the 4, coming through turns 1 and 2, and now Childress has the nose out in front of Stewart. Gonna try to send it in there, slide up the racetrack. Stewart stays up to the outside. Put Charlie Childress up one more. He's gonna be up to 13th. Whoa!
Oh.
Wow! Oh, Adam Stewart up the racetrack.
He's going to keep it put it in the right direction, though.
What a bizarre situation there. I think he got up into the wall coming up off of the corner, and it kind of sent him back down the racetrack. Not sure if it was a little bit of shock or what, but something caused that 4 to come back up across the track. We'll start this from a lap earlier. We watched this battle take place. We could see as Childress works his way up on the outside. Let's see if we can see a little bit of something else. Yeah, pretty good wall pop and sent him back down the racetrack, and then back up, gets another good wall pop there, and that's going to mess up the right front suspension on that number 4 machine. So Stewart into the pits.
He might be on pit road for quite a while.
Might be onto something there. Tom Bourne continues to lead, but that gap has decreased. Peyton Holland has been closing by about 0.3 seconds per lap. Last time around a 23, well, that was about 0.2, but a 23.89 to a 24.07. This time around, you can see Alan's favorite visual test, the eyeball test, as that gap is significantly and visually closing down. It's now 0.4 seconds. Last time by, Peyton was a little bit closer to Tom Bourne's lap time, or I should put it the other way around. But Brandon Cooper is also one to put down a quick lap. Do apologize about that. I gotta figure out a setting to make that not happen.
That's okay. But there's the eyeball test. 0.3 seconds. That's the gap between Tom Bourne and Peyton Holland. As we go on board with Peyton Holland, that's an even better eyeball test. And that really gives you a glimpse of what these guys are facing as they come off to turn 4 and go into the tri-oval. Peyton Holland in that 18 car started second. So far, it's been the Tom Bourne show and the Peyton Holland show all race long. Brandon Cooper about over a half second back.
Tom Bourne out of New York currently leading this race, and we take a look off the back bumper, and that Swedish fish is just getting more and more legible on the front end of that Ghost Energy Camry. The more words I can read, the more I'm going to say. EOL Race Wrap Guys Cup Series up on that banner is getting awful legible as he's within 0.2 of a second now coming up off of the corner. Slight advantage for Tom Bourne. But Holland really not letting him get away. Both drove a 24-17 that last time around. Here comes Holland looking down to the inside for the race lead off of turn 2. Oh, he's going to try to get in there. Gets into the back of Bourne a little bit. I don't think he liked the fact that Bourne closed that door so late. Up the racetrack goes the 16. To the bottom goes the 18. Side by side, getting into one. Peyton going to try to send it in deep. Slides up the racetrack just a bit. Tom going to get... Well, it looked like he was going to get in line behind the 18, and he gets a nice run coming up off of the corner to get dead even back with Peyton Holland. Now here he comes once again trying the same move, although this time Holland's going to be able to drive through, followed by Brandon Cooper in that 54 machine, who has been mighty quick over the course of the last 5 to 10 laps.
Gonna allow. Here comes Brandon Cooper. He's making up time. Brock Whitehead gonna go around Tom Bourne there, and that's gonna be for that 3rd position. Definitely liking this battle right now. Brandon Cooper trying to stay on the back bumper of Peyton Holland. He's gonna take a little bit higher line. Tom Bourne back to 4th to lose his 3 spots after leading the first 31 laps in this race, if you will.
They're doing a phenomenal job. But just trying to keep it in between the lines at this stage in the game. We're 35 laps down, 36 laps complete in this Iowa Army Strong 200. He's not going the way that he wants to right now. He's a couple tenths off of what the leader's putting down, but that's something that we're going to see a lot of throughout the course of the night is comers and goers. All right,
Yeah,
Sorry, Alan, go ahead.
We're going to see that all night long, comers and goers. That's your favorite phrase, comers and goers. And here's a battle between Grijalva and Wes Fuller.
Well, we've got this. Let's see if I did this right. Let's try to bring up our point standings. Coming into this race. Push that over to the right side so that we can still see at least some of this beautiful racing action. But Brock Whitehead comes in with a lead over Mark Gonzalez, Tom Bourne, Chris Otto, and Nolan Jackson. Top 5 within 51 points of the leader. Caution is out on the speedway. Mark Gonzalez is slow on the inside. Not sure if he had something to do with it there, but he certainly might have. I don't see any damage on that race car. Cameron Coster, Charles Whitehead drivers towards the back that don't seem to have any damage either. See if we can see what happened here with potentially the 8 machine. Oh, he got the wall and spins it down the front straightaway all by himself. So caution number 1 at lap 40. Peyton Holland leads them. Does he lead them down to the pits? It looks like it. This guy's got 5 extra sets in at the pits waiting for him. 40 laps in. It's the perfect time to get a new set, especially with the fall off that we were seeing there, going down to about 24 4s after running 22 6s at the beginning of this race. Pace car out there all on his lonesome. The entire field comes into pit.
That's a rarity that you see that.
Tom Bourne slides through his pit box just a little bit. He's going to have to back it up before he can get service. And Adam Stewart coming up off of the pit lane after 7 minutes of service done after hitting that outside wall. He's going to be a couple down. More than a couple, looking about 17 laps down. From high above, Peyton Holland holds on to this race lead. Adam Stewart going to try to get one of his numerous laps back. And that's a tough deal, Alan, when you've got an early incident at a short track that doesn't bring out the caution. I mean, it doesn't take long to get really far behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's a tough break for Adam Stewart. To basically be buried from the drop of the green flag. 16 laps down. He's counting cautions, though. And he's going to count on cautions to see, to see if he can get back close enough to the lead lap. But at this point, if you're Adam Stewart, you're just riding around. Don't do anything egregious and just get all the points you can get.
Points going to be a big factor here, especially if attrition does start to come into factor. Stewart's going to be able to, maybe get around some of these guys. Looks like Mark Gonzalez is back out onto the racetrack after his contact, so but Stewart's going to be able to get one of his laps back as he pulls around. Drivers set up 2x2, ready to rock and roll. Front row Peyton Holland with Brock Whitehead to his outside. Brandon Cooper and Noah Jackson in row number 2. Ryan White, Dalton McKinney, Trey Whitehead, Christian Rose, Matt Davies, and Tyler Bentley. Green flag back in the air. Peyton Holland leads us down, gets himself a good restart. Now Cooper's going to try to follow through on the inside, that shorter lane down the front straightaway.
There you go, Peyton Holland out with the early lead. Here comes Cooper, Brandon Cooper, and that number 54 car. He is Goodyear to Goodyear with Brock Whitehead for second place. And then I think we want to get single filed out.
Everywhere but second, as you still see them side by side. Brandon Cooper, Brock Whitehead trying to fight for the second spot. Cooper feels like he deserves it. Whitehead going to let him go for now. Potentially try a little switcheroo. Doesn't quite have the tire grip to get down below him. Oh, Ryan White goes around down the front straightaway. Caution's out.
Well, he keeps it straight, though.
It didn't hit anything either.
That's a good line. That's a good skilled driving.
Caution's out very quickly here for the second time today. Let's just grab another quick look at it. We saw it on our screen while we're watching that battle for second. Now we're going to see it on board with Ryan White. Yeah, just potentially a situation where Noah was not going to be all the way clear. Riding on board with Noah here, and you can see all that dirt flying around. Yeah, I think he just was trying to fall into the hole and misanticipated it. Nothing egregious there, just two guys fighting for the same spot. White's gonna come in, get that thing looked at.
Tough break for Ryan White there in that number 34 car. And it's almost like he can't buy good luck right now. Good thing they got 5 sets of tires, Liam, on pit road because they might need them. Heinz McCullough and Mark Gonzalez in pit road right now. Mark Gonzalez getting a little more damage fixed up on that race car.
All right, sorry for the silence there. We
Oh no, you're good.
had a little bit of
technical difficulty.
it was more so a time-sensitive matter, but everything is A-okay. We're ready to rock and roll here. Ryan White gonna fall back to 22nd position after that spin. Peyton Holland gonna lead us down. As these guys are anticipating the restart, getting ready to be doubled up, even though the call from the tower has not been given to them. Should be this time.
Yep, there it is. There's the lights. Nestled just outside of downtown Newton, Iowa. I've been to Newton, Iowa.
That's a phrase I've never heard in my life. What is the downtown area? You know, the cornfield at the corner?
There's a lot of cornfields. Look, if you like corn by the time you leave Iowa, you won't like corn after that. Oh man, 5.5 hours north of St. Louis, and you have all the corn that you want. But right now, Peyton Holland looking to have all the green flag.
This isn't sweet corn. This isn't the corn you eat. This is ethanol corn.
Well, off of turn 4, Peyton Holland putting the pedal to the metal, bringing Brock Whitehead right behind him.
Here comes Cooper looking back down to that bottom side, trying to take away second definitively. This time, Whitehead seems a little bit better scouted for it.
Yeah, it's almost like Brock Whitehead was, anticipating that start here. As we're looking back here at the 46 car, there's a double nickel Tyler Bentley there. There he is, and driving for the I-90 Performance Racing. And he's got a mirror full of Tim Henderson right on his back bumper, or that deck lid, if you will.
We were looking at that Dalton McKinney machine, a new paint scheme, that Sun Drop number 46.
It's throwback weekend already? It's not throwback week.
Is that even a throwback?
I would consider that a throwback to Dale Jr.'s late model days.
Yeah, but he also drove the Sun Drop car like 2 years ago.
That's true. I will say this, Liam. While we're in Iowa, if you haven't ever made the trip to Knoxville Speedway, do it. I'm telling you, it is so worth it.
I've only been there for the truck races when they were held there for a couple of years. Have not been able to see the Sprint Car Nationals, but man, I tell you what, that's pretty high up on the bucket list. It's going to be somewhere that I get to before the end of time.
Definitely is. I made it there in 2024 for the Knoxville Late Model Nationals, but we got a score to settle here between Brandon Cooper and Brock Whitehead. Brock Whitehead has second, and Brandon Cooper wants it. He's taking in that car. What do I need to do to get around Brock Whitehead without tearing up my equipment?
Here's a name that I want to bring up, at least for just a moment. Out of Cleburne, Texas, Trey Whitehead, usually in the race control booth or running up and down the pit lane, trying to get us some information. He's currently running 5th place. He told us we could pull him up, talk to him about the racetrack and about how things are going. We're not going to do that right now. He seems a little bit busy at the moment, but looking pretty good in that Banfield Pet Hospital number 23. Sitting at the top 5, up 9 spots from where he started. He was mad fast in practice. Look for that 23 to have something to say at the front of this thing before it's all said and done. More trouble at the back. Big crash down the back, or coming up off of 4. Charlie Childress spun down to the inside. Patrick McQuaid sideways and stopped on track.
Yeah, Nelsonville, Ohio native, Patrick McQuaid, and well, I mean, there's still a long ways to go. So we're under a 3rd caution, and you know, they always say, cautions will breed caution.
See what happens here with Charlie. Now he's going to get into the back of McQuaid, turn him around. Both have a slow and lazy spin down the front straightaway.
I mean, I would rather have that slow and lazy spin rather than have that dash spin where you're careening off a wall before you realize anything's going on.
Yeah. Childress gets in there pretty deep, and McQuaid kind of comes down a touch late. Oh, Ryan White might have gotten a piece of the back end. Taking a look here, there's Peyton Holland coming to almost a stop to let the pace car catch back up.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Hey, sometimes you have to.
Yeah, person in the YouTube.com live chat rooting on the 22 and 46. Oh, here's a tidbit. The 46 car was a sun drop car at the beginning of the season. Probably at Daytona, so.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we miss the first 2?
We did. We came, so Sim Racing Media picked up the EOL Rap Guys Cup Series at Michigan.
But yeah, that sun drop paint scheme looks really good. Kind of makes me want to see if I can find a sun drop in Minnesota.
I think you can find them in St. Louis. But I don't think you can find them in Minnesota. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always kind of assumed it was more of a southern thing. I don't see it around up here very much. But it is delicious.
I tell you what, though. Next, if you ever get to St. Louis, get you a ski from Illinois. It's an Illinois thing.
A ski?
Yeah, it's SKI. And it's a Illinois soda.
Okay, all right.
Meanwhile, while we're talking about sodas and sun drop, these guys are getting lined up 2 by 2 Noah's Ark style behind that iRacing.com pace car. That light is out, and we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap number 62.
Approaching 150 laps remaining in the show. Still a long way to go. Peyton Holland going to lead him down. Cooper going to try to get side by side for second once again, but looks like the 31 on the outside has kind of figured something out with these Peyton Holland restarts. He's able to kind of keep nose ahead of second place. Although Cooper really not letting him get away without a fight.
Yeah, definitely a 2x2 doing it John Ford style. This is Brandon Cooper, Brock Whitehead. But here comes Matt Davies and the 32 car. That's a Whitehead racing team. And his teammate, Trey Whitehead in that 23 car on the bottom side making it work.
Well, I tell you what, that 23 has not lost a step by spending time in the booth and on the pit lane. I know, a lot of people say that once you get out of the car, it's kind of tough to get back to it. But, you look at a guy like Parker Kligerman, for example. He was able to get into Connor Zilich's car, win in Daytona on a one-off. When he was, almost a little contact there. But when he was a relief driver for Connor Zilich with a broken back.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
Yeah, I don't care what the history books say, man. Parker Kligerman won that Daytona race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sure, it was one of Zilich's 11 wins on the 2025 campaign. But Parker won that race. And you know what? He won the truck race at Daytona, too. I will stand by that.
Here's the thing about Parker Kligerman as we go under caution. And we're gonna do a little bit of a history lesson while we're under caution. As a Charlie Childress car, the T-Rex car, got mad and tried to reach his little arms out towards the wall.
Yeah, not 2/10 quicker right now.
No. At the YouTube.com live chat, Johnny Williams of Southern Grip Motorsports says that Sundrop was invented in yours truly's hometown, and it was created in 1928 by salesman Charles Lazier in St. Louis, Missouri, and patented in 1932.
Interesting stuff. That's appreciated there, Johnny Williams.
And Google.
The owner of Southern Grip Motorsports and also the sponsor of today's Iowa Army Strong 200. So thank you, Johnny, A, for tuning in, hanging out with us, spending some time with us, but B, thank you for sponsoring this race for the EOL Race Wrap Guy Cup Series. Doing it with such a cool sponsor, too,
Yes.
Support
I mean,
for the
who doesn't
troops
love
is
the
very
Army?
important. Probably opposing armies.
True.
I don't know if we should talk about stuff like that right now. But Sundrop was invented in St. Louis. So, Alan, if I come down and visit you, come down for the Gateway race for IndyCar or whatever it ends up being, I'm going to have to stock up the trunk on Sundrop.
Look, if I don't drink soda, you can have all the Sundrop you want. But if you come down for the IndyCar race or the NASCAR race, we're going to have to do some St. Louis type things.
Oh, 1,000%. I am drowning myself in ribs. I don't care that that's not physically possible. I'm going to find a way.
And don't forget about the toasted ravioli.
I make that at home. I'm sure you guys know how to do it very well, but I don't know. When you get to mess around with it at home and kind of fine-tune things.
That's true. He wishes he was here, but he's under the weather. Okay.
We
Well,
wish
hope
you
you
were
get
here
well
too,
soon.
Johnny, but we're glad that you can spend some time with us in the YouTube chat and at least enjoy this racing from the outside looking in. It has been incredible. Peyton Holland has been out front for a good number of circuits, 38. Tom Bourne started from the pole, led your first 32 laps. He's fallen back to 13th place at this stage in the game. But still a long way to go as that sun has officially fallen behind the grandstands and cast a shadow on the entirety of this racetrack. We're not in the night yet, but it's dark enough as to where the lights are turned on. And we have passed the point of glare getting through these corners. Alan, I know you've raced at Phoenix. Phoenix is one of the worst when it comes to
My
that glare.
goodness. Yes, it is. Look, any track, I don't care whether it's pavement or dirt. You get that glare, you get that sun glare on the racetrack, and it'll wreak havoc. It is so hard to look. I find myself squinting whenever I'm racing, and it's at during the twilight.
Yeah, Alan, I've got transition lenses on my glasses, and it does kind of upset me that it doesn't work when I'm getting into the corner,
Right.
turns 3 and 4 specifically at Phoenix. 'Cause,
I
man,
have
that is a brutal entry for about 15 minutes there before the sun goes down. Maybe 30 minutes, but
He's got it lined up 2x2, Noah's Ark style, behind that iRacing.com pace car. You got the AT car, Peyton Holland. Matt Davies is going to be starting on the inside of row number 2. Or on the inside of row number, on the inside of row number 2. Brock Whitehead. Can Brock Whitehead beat Peyton Holland at his own game? We're going to find out here in just about 3 short minutes.
it's going to be tough. You know, that leader with the control, being the control car on the restart, you have got to have a perfect reaction time to stay with him. So we'll see what Whitehead can do as Davies gets up out of the back bumper of Holland, kind of pushes him forward, gives him a little bump before the line. It's going to allow him to get clear. And now Davies side by side for second place, all the way on the bottom of the racetrack. To be able to nose out in front just a hair, but that outside lane going to be prominent coming up off of turn number 2.
Definitely. Tom Bourne has led 32 laps tonight. Peyton Holland has
Oh,
led
we got
42
sideways in the back. Tom Bourne got sideways. Believe off of the front bumper of Grijalva. We'll have to double check on that, but an amazing save from that 16.
Grijalva driving for Red Line Racing. And that Red Line Racing Grijalva Auto Sports car. There's our
Watch
replay.
Tom Bourne here from the restart.
And, oop. Okay, there's the stack up there.
Oh, it was actually the 40. He was sideways a little bit. Kind of touched the front bumper of the 40, and everybody checks up, but everybody comes away clean.
A little Tokyo drift action going on.
Peyton Holland continues to lead. He's got 45 circuits under his belt. Let's take a look at the fastest 5 for the last 5 laps of this current run after that last restart. Peyton, of course, the quickest. Whitehead in second. Third place, Brandon Cooper. 5th place, Matt Davies. But Dalton McKinney in 6th place, at least that last time around, had put his way up to the front of that list. He's got a quick car. Dalton does.
And here comes Dalton McKinney working the outside of Matt Davies and thinking about a little more there. Trey Whitehead.
Yeah, he got Whitehead, no problem. Up
And
on
that
the outside, it looked like Trey got a little bit loose there coming up off of the corner. Wasn't able to defend. Davies now trying the same move on the outside. Gets aggressive on entry there. Pulls some good center speed, but it did hurt his exit just a little bit. That allows the 23 to attack just a bit deeper into turns 3 and 4. Coming back on the outside is Davies, though. He's going to have that momentum. How hard does that 23 fight, especially given the fact that these are teammates for Whitehead Racing?
Definitely is how hard you want to race your teammate as Dalton McKinney finishes that 2-for-1 special, as I like to say, and he's got his sets on sight. He's got his sights sets on the lead. Joe Grijalva, checking in the chat saying that Grijalva is an Army veteran and now is also in the National Guard in New Mexico. So very proud of Joseph Grijalva and that 22 car.
I tell you what, man, we are proud of him and we thank him for his service, but we also applaud you and thank you for being such a strong support system for Joseph here. It's really cool to see you week in and week out hanging out in these YouTube chats, supporting your boy, and you know, that's really heartwarming to see on this side of things as well. So keep doing what you're doing, Joe. You raised a good racer and you raised a good man.
Well, Well, he's working his way to the podium. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it looks like Peyton Holland is starting to drive away from Brandon Cooper as he's got about a half second. There's the eyeball dust from the back deck lid of Peyton Holland.
Take a look at Peyton's chart here. Not much change.
Not much, you know, and here's the thing, Peyton Holland, now that he's out front, I'm a firm believer he's able to slow the pace of this race down to where he's comfortable driving at. Oops,
Oh, you get the wall a little bit there.
But to me, if I'm leading, I'm going to slow this race pace down.
100%, Alan. I think you're onto something there, and especially when you see those guys side by side behind you losing time, that almost gives you a little bit more of a reason to kind of back those corners up and try to save your stuff for a little bit longer. Seems like turn 4 is causing a little bit of a struggle for Peyton right now as we continue to ride on board. Now that gap closing down to about 0.4 of a second. Whitehead is closing in.
Yeah, that's the only driver that can make Peyton Holland drive harder is Brock Whitehead. And Brock Whitehead has closed down to 0.3 of a second. Really shoot into Peyton Holland's real estate there.
And Alan, you gotta wonder if some of this might have to do with this track getting darker, getting cooler. We've got, I believe we started this race off with 71 degree track temp, so we're not going to see a major difference in that. 75 right now, it's gone up a little bit with these cars running around on it.
Yeah, definitely, but these motors love the cooler temperatures here. 66 degrees with a northeast wind with a 13-mile-an-hour wind out of the northeast. So, I mean, these cars do love the chillier air as they're working lap number 90, or 89 rather. As Peyton Holland across the stripe, down the back straightaway. But meanwhile, these guys are remaining green. They're keeping it clean there. Like, not even a handful of cautions.
Yeah, I mean, we had that little flurry there. We started the race off very clean. We had that little flurry, a couple of quick cautions after restarts. You know the phrase, cautions breed cautions. So we can't really anticipate anything else on these restarts. It's just, we're going to see some really close, good, hard racing, and the potential for contact is exponentially higher. So now the potential for a pass to the lead is starting to look more and more likely as that's Brock Whitehead. Continues to close in, have good corner exits. Peyton Holland might be a little bit nervous. And I guess what I was trying to say earlier is I wonder if this track is changing as it's getting darker out, and that is going to cause for some more of that comers and goers type situation. Maybe the warmer or, maybe the sun beating down on this track was beneficial for the driving style of the 18, but now that he doesn't have that, could be in the favor of the 31 or somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you there, and that's the thing is, that's where this track tends to get going here. These tires are gonna start firing off. Liam, I don't know what you got going on Saturday, but Saturday, Mike DeMoney and Colin McDonough will be bringing you all the action from the Lady in Black at the ECR Boat and Enterprises Next Gen Series. Goes to Darlington. And this is going to start at 9:15 Eastern time on Saturday night. Also, William, Sunday night with the Icon Cup Series, we go to Darlington with that series. And that's going to be a fun one. All that starts at 8:10 Eastern. So 7:10 Pacific, or 7:10 Central. So a couple of the series here on Sim Racing Media getting in, just scratching the surface.
And of course, if you have a league that you want broadcasted or even some one-off events, we can do both. Hit us up about a league. Hit us up about a one-off. We've got our own one-off coming up in May. The Indianapolis 500. Wonder if I've got a little graphic for that.
Maybe.
Yeah, there it is. 33 drivers. The fastest 33 will start. Winner gets $100. Second gets 50. Third gets 25. We're also looking for sponsors for that as well to help increase that prize pool. And, yeah, so we'll have a Google Forms for the registry for the race soon. And feel free to hit us up if you've got any sort of sponsorship ideas or partnership ideas. I'd love to work with you. While we continue to toot our own horn, we also want to say that if you have any interest in jumping up in the booth, hanging out with us, watching your favorite leagues and favorite iRacers do what they do, guess who to hit up? It's us again.
Hey,
we're looking for people who want to do commentary, people who want to potentially jump into production as well. Just people who want to have fun on the service and look at things from a different side. As into the wall goes Peyton Holland as he loses the race lead. Trey Whitehead's going to be able to jump down to his inside and make quick work of him for second. Holland really struggling here later on in the second stanza of the race. You got to wonder if these guys are going to be pitting soon. I know if the caution comes out, they'll definitely be making a pit stop, but 75% fuel.
I mean, they're able to.
I don't know if you're going to be able to go more than 75 to 85 laps. And even then, that might be ambitious.
Here's, we got 116 laps to go here from Iowa, and you know, Brock Whitehead up to the lead, and so is Trey Whitehead. Oh boy, this could be interesting here in the later stages of this race. As Peyton Holland surrenders the lead to both Trey and Brock.
Yeah, Trey's a little bit quicker this time around. About a 10th quicker than Brock. Holland's gap kind of stabilizing a little bit with Cooper. Just a couple of car lengths separate those two, but it's been that way for the last lap or two. Here comes Trey looking down to the inside of Brock, trying to take away the race lead. Nothing doing quite yet. Peyton Holland working with Brandon Cooper, or rather working against. And it's times like this, Alan, where I wish we could just go double box. And I know there's got to be a way, you know, whether it's through Discord or what, but
we're gonna have to find a way.
We're gonna have to figure that out because we've got two incredible battles for position, and as close as they are to each other, it's just really tough to. Well, maybe this angle will help us see both these races for first and for third. We've also got a phenomenal race back here for seventh with Noah Jackson.
Noah Jackson, where did he come from? As he started 8th, so he's only moved up one spot. But here it's a battle for the lead right now. The battle of the Whiteheads, Brock and Trey.
Two completely different lines. Brock able to work that middle to higher lane. Trey getting all the way down to the bottom. Peyton Holland starting to separate himself just a bit from that Brandon Cooper machine.
Both those Toyota Tundras, or Camrys rather. Wow. Hello.
That time Trey goes wide, and that's going to cost him a ton of time as Brandon Cooper now goes to the inside of Peyton Holland. Holland's got that outside momentum for now. He's going to go in a little bit wider than that black, fresher paved asphalt. And well, as you see just behind him, Dalton McKinney got all the way up into that gray stuff, and it really affected his cornering ability.
And there's that 46 car. It's a sun drop car. Gosh, man, I love that paint scheme. Adam Stewart now being shown 15 laps down. He got a couple laps back under the last couple cautions. Cole Martin wins the race at the beer stand tonight. He's out of this one. The fun meter being pegged.
Take a look at Grijalva working his way up into the top 10. Redline Racing Machine looking pretty good, slowly but surely finding his way out. We'll go ahead and take a look at his chart throughout the day, and it has just been steady improvement. A little bit of losing spots with the cautions there. I don't think he was involved in anything per se. He was just around them, checked up, and lost some spots. But other than that, it's just been steady improvement out of that 22.
Yeah, definitely keeping himself under the radar, if you will. And you know, this is part of that race. This is the part of the race where we're going to kind of have that lull and in the action here. So we're going to do our best to get everybody some TV time.
Yeah, I'm ashamed that it's taken me this long, but I'm now realizing that MR is probably a typo on Junior. So Tyler Bentley, he's another driver who's shown steady improvement throughout the course of this race. Started 25th, sits in 8th. Jeff Kleinsma got some damage, had to get repaired earlier in the show. But continuing to improve his race. Brandon Cooper's had an issue. Brandon Cooper is
Gone? Poof. Zach Woods showing an issue. Connection issue, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. He was very fast running there up in
Well,
the
here
top
we go.
of caution, or not caution, but pit stops are happening here. With 100 to go, Brock Whitehead comes in. Peyton Holland, Trey Whitehead, they're already getting service done. Chris Hubka is coming out of the pits along with Bill Hagan in front of him. Noah Jackson takes over the race lead.
Don't forget, Liam, next week here at the EOL Cup Series, we head west to Sonoma Raceway for 88 laps of road racing action. All coming your way at 8:05 Central Time, 9:05 Eastern.
We look at these the top 15's last pit stop information. 75 laps since some of these guys have been in for tires. Tim Henderson only took 2 tires on his last pit stop. So they're gonna be hurting. Grijalva takes 4, Noah Jackson takes 4, Koster takes 4. Keep you guys updated on that. Jackson's come in, and around he goes on exit of the pits.
And he
loops it all the way around. That's going to cost him some time. Gets back up and facing the right direction. Meanwhile, Patrick McQuaid has come in along with the 21 of Henderson. Thad Teasley takes over the race lead, and that's probably going to cost Noah about 10 to 12 seconds on the racetrack. He's going to be driving angry now. We'll see if that helps him or hurts him throughout the course of the final 95 laps. But Tom Bourne, Charles Whitehead coming into the pits.
Tough break for Noah Jackson, having issues getting off pit road, but it's hard to do, Liam. It's so hard to get off this pit road.
It really is. We take a look at the first driver out on fresh tires. It is Dalton McKenney in that 46 Sun Drop machine. And we've got Brock Whitehead, Peyton Holland a couple seconds behind him. Rialva a few more seconds back than Trey Whitehead, who may have also had himself a bit of a struggle coming up off of the pit lane. Jeff Kleinsma, Ryan White, Wes Fuller coming in. Whitehead starts to close in more and more on that 46. He's got about 4 lap fresher tires than Dalton does. Coster's potentially had himself a problem getting out of the pit lane. No, he jumped straight to the pits.
You just hate that for him, and
He's already slow here.
that beer can doesn't look dented yet.
Okay. Caleb Collins is your race leader now. Christian Rose in second as Teasley makes a pit stop. Rose comes in to the pits. So once Caleb Collins in that 72 makes his pit stop, that will complete the cycle.
Mark
Oh, he last came
Gonzalez is 10 laps down.
Yeah, remember he had that earlier incident where he got up into the outside wall. And
Yep.
I think that was our first caution of the day. Maybe the second. Doing what he can to try to keep this number 8. Good Wrench Service Plus this week. Usually got the Oreo paint scheme. Doing it for Dale. Up on the outside, trying to make a pass on Matt Davies. This is obviously not for position, but he's got a quick car in that 8. You see Caleb Collins out front. He last came in on lap 68. So that's 50 laps ago. He could theoretically go another 25 or so.
And that's what racing at Iowa is all about. Is getting off that pit cycle where everybody else is and going just a little bit further.
Well, I mean, if you look at it this way, if he goes 75 laps on this run, 75 laps on the next run, and we stay green, he's only got to make one more stop. He's got a 16-second gap on Dalton. So if he's able to manage that gap, everybody is still at a one-stop situation.
True.
However, that does require that this race goes entirely caution-free. But if that's going to be the way he goes, I think the window opens up on 140.
Well, we're going to find out that and many more.
Yes, we are. But before we do that, we're going to step aside and pay some bills. Be right back with some incredible racing action and the finish here in the Iowa Army Strong 200.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. iRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one. Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup.
Back live here in Iowa. We are ready for the final 75 laps. Caleb Collins continues to lead. He's got 6.5, but that is dwindling quickly. I think the window is just about opened up for him to make it to the end. Last pitted 73 or 72 laps ago. He's got 75 laps to go, so he might try to push it 1 or 2 more laps just to get that to a virtual 50% split. Brock Whitehead sits in second place. It's now 5 seconds. Peyton Holland has gotten around Dalton McKinney for third. He's 2.5 seconds, or 2.2 seconds rather, behind Brock Whitehead. Kenny in fourth, Brialva in fifth. He's got Trey Whitehead just behind him. Caleb Collins, though, sitting out front. He's gonna have a tire advantage when he does come into pit.
Yeah, exactly. Especially working lap 143 now, as he's got the lap car. It looks like the 70.
It's a 77 of McQuaid. Now he's got
yeah.
Ryan White looking to his inside. 3 seconds is the gap between first and second now. It has been 75 laps since Caleb Collins came into pit. Up the racetrack he goes. He's going to have to come in very soon here, I would imagine.
Yeah, and you alluded to this too. You know, during that cycle of green flag pit stops, how he could try to go to lap 145. That window would have opened at lap 140. So he's in that fuel window right now.
So we got a couple of cars between him and Brock. Here comes Brock coming up on Tim Henderson in the 21. Collins stays out another lap.
Stays out.
He might stay out until he loses the lead here.
I was wondering what does he know that we don't, because
I would have pitted already, but I think he's trying to shorten up that last stint as much as he can. Utilize his tire advantage that he's going to have, but this is effectively the race lead changing on the racetrack. Still about 2.2 back to Holland. Justin Hutchison around on the front straightaway. Is this going to bring the caution out?
No, he's starting off the racetrack.
Yeah, you're right there, Alan. He stays off the racetrack. We're going to continue on. Brock Whitehead, the race leader. Caleb Collins, Peyton Holland.
I would imagine Caleb Collins is going to come down pit road probably this time.
It's got to be soon here.
Yeah, there he comes.
There he is.
He's pulling up parachutes now.
Gets out of pit road very safely and easily. He's going to make the last 68 or so laps on this stint. It's what he did the first time.
Meanwhile, the rest of the field's got to come down one more time.
Yes. Effectively, he's just taking his final pit stop now. Caleb Collins is, and everybody else still yet to make their final pit stop, but now Collins is going to have an advantage of about 1.5 seconds per lap, while he's got the fresher tires than everybody else.
And that's that strategy that we've been talking about. We've been talking about this all night, alluding to it. Could this be Caleb Collins' night?
He's going to do everything he can to make it that way, as he's able to get out just in front of your race leader. He's going to be one lap down. Prevents himself from going two, and this is your eyeball test, Alan. You can see just how much quicker he's going to be than that 31 on this fresh rubber. Still working around the inside of that 5. He's able to pull him by a significant gap coming up off of turns 3 and 4. Man, just look at that gap increase down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's that eyeball test from the back of Brock Whitehead's car, or Caleb Collins rather.
And I think a significant number to look at here, Alan, is the gap from Caleb Collins to the leader. It's under 46 seconds. So now we look at the pit lane time. That last time around, there's only one driver who was able to get through pit lane in less than 46 seconds. That was Dalton McKinney. So I think at this point, Caleb would assume the race lead if everybody pitted now. Obviously, there'd be a little bit of a tire discrepancy, about 8 laps, 7 laps. That would probably be enough to let Whitehead chase him back down. However, the longer they run, the less time Whitehead would have. The better his tires would be, but the less time he would have. And of course, everything changes if we get a caution.
Like all the real estate.
Well, I mean, we saw even last night in the Western States Racing League, we had a caution in the first corner for 2 separate solo spins. Nobody hit anything. And then as the leader took 2 to go and he was driving into turn 1, a couple of cars made contact, spun out, and that brought out the second caution of the race. These things are unpredictable, and anything can happen at any given time in auto racing.
Definitely. That's why we run these races. I mean,
Agala cars here. A couple of guys on fresher tires. It looked like the 3 there. Bill Hagan, he's a couple of laps down. He just came in and got some fresh tires. Looking at Collins once again, currently in 21st position on his off strategy. Brock Whitehead continuing to hold on to the race lead. That seems like a pretty good time to go. Nope, maybe not.
they've got 2 cars crashed.
Trey Whitehead around. Adam Stewart around as well. They're off the track. Stewart going to drive away as well. No caution. Stewart around again.
There's
Caution's
the
out.
caution.
Charles Whitehead in the 40 is around down the front straightaway.
Oh,
I think
no.
that's what brought the caution out. And that's the last thing that Caleb Collins wanted to see.
Yep, you're 100% correct.
Collins now trapped a lap down.
Oh.
He's going to have to take everyone's going to pit. He's going to have to take the wave around to get his lap back. So that puts him on a disadvantage on old tires. Let's go back and take a look to see what happened here with Trey Whitehead and Adam Stewart, though. Oh, man. So it looks like Bill Hagan got into the back of Adam Stewart. Gets him sideways and just nowhere for Trey to go.
Up, Greg.
What happened with the 40? He gets him into the wall, spins it down the front straightaway. It brings the caution out once again. 5th caution here on lap 163 out of 215. Rapidly approaching 50 laps to go. Brock Whitehead won the race off of pit road. Peyton Holland, Dalton McKinney, Joseph Grijalva, and Thad Teasley. Appreciate everybody tuning in live here on the Sim Racing Media YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a race.
Right.
If you like what you see, by all means, we are looking for more leagues to broadcast or one-off events. And if you're interested in doing what we do, hit us up. We're looking for new members of the team. Always looking to grow and make new friends across this beautiful iRacing world.
Speaking of new team members, and Liam, you know, Joe Manella got to make his Sim Racing Media debut on ECR on Saturday. Did a heck of a job. That league loves him. He's going to be one of our part-timers and able to come in when he can and sit in the booth.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, It is a completely different way to experience iRacing from the booth and sim racing media. I've been here for a while, but you know, these guys have given me the tools to not only, you know, watch a race how I want to, but portray a race how I would do it. You know, I think everybody's got valid criticisms when we watch a race on Fox or on NBC or, you know, wherever we're watching. I think we've all got valid criticisms, and we all, you know, we all say, well, I could do it better. But this is our chance.
Go for it.
This is our chance. This is how we show we can do it better. We as race fans, we know what we want to see. And we can also find out how hard it is to find stuff to see. But Brock Whitehead coming to the restart on the outside lane. He's got Peyton Holland to his inside. Alan, take us away.
Yeah, we're coming back to Green Flag Racing. Brock Whitehead with the pole shot, if you will. And here comes Joseph Grijalva. He's going to drag race Peyton Holland in turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go, John Forrest style. And here comes Dalton McKinney in that 46 car. Holy cow, are you kidding me? Where did he come from?
Power move for him to get up to 4th place uncontested. Now looking down to the inside of Grijalva. A lot of these guys going to have some damage repairs, some fresh tires, as now Jeff Kleinsma works down to the inside of Rose. Almost makes contact there. Whitehead looks to the inside. McQuaid looks to the outside. Neither one of them is going to be able to get around that Mountain Dew kickstart machine. Tom Bourne looking through the middle, your pole sitter. Hoping to get his way back to the front. After leading the first 32 laps, his car faded quickly.
Yeah, working lap 168. Here comes Peyton Holland trying to contest Brock Whitehead for the lead. And meanwhile, they're 3 wide for 3rd position. Dalton McKinney's thinking about that 2-for-1 special if he can get it.
Well, they're splitting in front of him, but he's not quite close enough to the C to make anything happen. Now Peyton Holland looking down to the inside, down the front straightaway. Not quite able to get the nose there. Grijalva able to get clear for 3rd place. The National Guardsman out of New Mexico is currently worked his way back up to the podium. This could be 2 weeks in a row. He's on it.
Well, he'd like to do 2 steps better than what he did. Here comes Pat Teasley in the number 33 car. This is getting good.
And Teasley with an excellent drive on the bottom of this racetrack. That thing is just hooked up the closer it is to that white line. Oftentimes you'll see the outside get the advantage coming up off of these corners, but it seems like the 33 has a kryptonite type of situation towards that. He is really able to just pull it down there. It's kind of like the old Kevin Harvick line of 2018 that everybody fell in love with.
Yeah.
Now he works his way up the racetrack. Sorry, Alan.
Don McKinney for the 4th position. Pat Teasley right in front of Joseph Grijalva, falling back into the clutches of the double nickel Tyler Bentley.
Christian Rose. Little Kleinsma gets up into the wall. Christian Rose looked like he was going to try to find a way around the 55, potentially move back up to keep the 15 behind him. And now Kleinsma way up into that gray stuff outside of the good asphalt. He's going to fall back outside of the top 10. Trey Whitehead also outside of the top 10. He's got some right front damage. Not sure if that's in addition to or because of that last caution flag, but he tags the wall again. So it doesn't look like it's handling super great.
Yeah, that car looks like it's not happy as he is outside of the top 10. Caleb Collins, though, being mired all the way back here in that 16th position.
Yeah, and a really tough break for him. He was really hoping that off strategy was going to be able to work for him. Caution comes out at the worst time where he's stuck 1 lap down. And he wasn't in the free pass position, so he wasn't able to come in and get tires. That causes him to be effectively running on 15 lap older tires than everybody else. So even though he is back on the lead lap, he's got no grip underneath him. He's going to need another caution flag to be able to try to work towards the front of this field once again. Brock Whitehead extending his lead by just a bit over Peyton, who is now driving deep into turns 3 and 4. Alan, I don't know if I've seen an entry that aggressive where somebody's able to pull it back down the racetrack.
Oh yeah, these guys are on a fresh tire. They feel like Superman right now. But Peyton Holland currently second, right where he started at. Brock Whitehead has it. Peyton Holland wants it. And Peyton Holland's going to do everything he can. Now there's going to be a lap car right in front of these guys. You know, oh, we got a spin right in front of the leaders. Charles Whitehead went off from the racetrack and came back on. Saw that one from the windshield of Peyton Holland.
'40 car able to drive away, and that was a sketchy spot.
That was very sketchy. We stay green here, lap 179. Brock Whitehead, Peyton Holland getting ran down there.
Take a quick look at that 40. See what happens as he comes up off of turn 4. It's sideways, trying to keep it off of the wall. Doesn't spin it all the way out, but still. Really sketchy when you've got a teammate / family member right behind you in the lead. Trey Whitehead's brought it down to pit lane. He's taken one too many hits to the outside wall. We'll see if we can talk to him shortly.
He may or may not be done for the night.
No, he's in his pit box. Hey Trey, we brought you up to the booth.
Yes, sir.
Well, I was wondering if you got some damage after that caution, or if that was due to the caution flag.
I was running kind of behind Adam, and Bill Hagan was coming on fresh tires, and I knew he was being really aggressive on fresh tires. I let him go on the bottom, and him and Adam got together, and they straightened it out, so I kept the bottom, and yeah, it got sideways again, so it crumpled up the front, and I just couldn't drive it there. I had to bring it back down and fix the damage. It was pushing really bad. I was going to end up wrecking somebody, so.
Well, you were blazing fast before all that stuff happened. You were working through the field. How did the car feel? And I know you talked about how much you like this racetrack. What about it suits your driving style?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of going by the wayside now. The car drove really tight. I could not keep the right front on this thing, and Brock was doing a hell of a job at doing it, and Peyton as well. So, yeah, it's just real tough, driving when you haven't driven in a few weeks, and with my foot injury and everything. It's not doing too bad, but yeah, I just couldn't keep the tires on it. So, tough night. But yeah, I think if we didn't miss our pit stop on that green flag cycle, I think we would have been okay. But you can cut our losses and try to see how it went, but just didn't fall our way. So,
well, awesome stuff, man. Best of luck the rest of the night if you get back out there. It's awesome to see you out there, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's a little humbling when you come back after a few weeks off and you get smoked like that. So we'll be back for Texas, but that's not for a little while. So,
well, awesome stuff. We'll send you back to the team.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Normally our pit road guy, Trey Whitehead. I mean, I shouldn't say normally. We're lucky enough to have him while he's recovering from injury. It's the downside about, sim racing compared to, any other game is that it's a full body deal. Caution is out. Joseph Grijalva's around.
The break for the New Mexico native.
I don't think he's I think he's staying in New Mexico now. I think he's from El Paso.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See what happened to the younger Joseph. A little bit of contact there from the 32 Davies. White's going to get in there and finish the job. Go on board with the 22 throughout turns 1 and 2. A little bit of contact there. That front tap to keep him saved almost. And then one final hit. Gonna make pit stops. Everybody's coming.
Everybody's coming down pit road.
Everybody in the pit's getting tires. Maybe that was lame, but
I liked it. It was good.
Tom Bourne potentially taking fuel only there.
Yeah, not too many more laps to go in this one. Working lap 188 of 215.
Looks like Tim Henderson potentially stayed out to try to get that wave around, but wasn't quite able to get it, so he's going to come in. Or maybe he's on the lead lap. He stayed out to lead a lap. Give you another quick reminder of your points. Coming into this race, Brock Whitehead leads the points over Mark Gonzalez, who's had a tough day. Currently sitting, looks like he is out of the race in 26th place. Last lap completed 1:54. Tom Bourne is your race leader. Granted, it is on pit strategy. He's 50 points back. Looking to try to close in a little bit by keeping that 31 behind him. Cruzado comes in fourth, and it doesn't look like he is. I mean, he's not here today, so he's not going to be able to hold on to that tie, what is essentially a tie for third. Noah Jackson here in 5th place in points. Currently sitting inside the top 10 in 7th. But your points leader being on the front row effectively leads us to a situation where we're likely going to see that points lead increase.
Oh yeah, for sure. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. The lights on the speedway are out. And Liam, it is time to go back to green flag racing here on lap 190.
Lights are actually back on the pace car, so they found some sort of situation or scoring error that we are not going to be able to take the green flag this time. Tyler Bentley's going to have to go towards the back of this field. Not seeing any black flag marks on his next to his name, but still going to have to move to the back of the field. And once again, the lights are off on the pace car. Alan, what does it do in your mind when you're this close to a restart and then boom, lights come back on and you've got to kind of re-hype yourself?
It's mental anguish, but you know, it's a good thing that these guys take that time to get things right as pace car's going to make its way down the back straightaway. And I was kind of bit by that bug on Monday night. You know, we had a pile up on the front straightaway, and Koch came out, and I got trapped a lap down. Just couldn't make up that lap there, and just couldn't get the caution to fly my way. But nonetheless, here we go. Take 2 on this restart.
Give it a go here. 24 laps remain when we take the green flag. 6th caution of the race is complete. Tom Bourne, your pole sitter, back out front on older tires, but Brock Whitehead gets away strong on the outside. Oh, Bourne almost got into the back of him. Teasley's got to check up a little bit. Bourne looks back up to the outside. Dalton McKinney and Thad Teasley side by side for second. Whitehead stays on that bottom lane. He's been able to work so well throughout the course of the day. Tom Bourne hits the outside wall. Teasley's going to move through for second place. McKinney trying to follow. Tom Bourne tries the crossover. He does a little switcheroo, gets to the inside of Teasley, and now McKinney tries to follow through of Tom Bourne to get to the inside of Teasley. Bourne right to the back bumper of Whitehead, Alan.
Yeah, Brock Whitehead continuing to lead. Here comes Dalton McKinney. Just Tom Bourne right there in that number 16 car. Going to the inside of Brock Whitehead. Off of turn number 2. Can't quite get it. Door bumper not so clear as they go down to turn number 3. Goodyear to Goodyear. And Dalton McKinney's got the best seat in the house for this one, Liam.
Yes, he does. They are getting side by side for the race lead, but only momentarily. Here comes McKinney looking down to the inside. Tom Bourne all the way down to the bottom. He is driving it in so deep. This is unbelievable stuff we're seeing, and we're going to get that best seat of the house on board with Dalton McKinney as Bourne drives it down in deep, trying to slide up the racetrack. Little bit of door contact between the two. Across the line, it was Whitehead by a skosh, but Bourne gonna get in there a little bit wide and try to shove that 31 up the racetrack. Get the middle corner speed. He's got the advantage right now, but the outside lane is gonna be where the speed is. Tom Bourne to the bottom side, trying to retake the race lead.
He'll try to clear himself.
Yeah, not quite clear there, Tom, but my goodness, these guys racing hard. A little bit more contact into one, and Whitehead trying to keep Tom from pulling away on that inside lane. He knows that if he can go into the corner with advantage, he's got a much better chance of keeping that 16 in line, getting him to fall back inside behind him. A little bit more contact coming up off of turn number 4. Not quite able to clear the 16 aboard, and Bourne dives it in deep once again. Allen. Oh, man, they're door banging again.
Yeah, Goodyear to Goodyear down the back straightaway as Tom Bourne showing as the leader just momentarily. Brock Whitehead has it. Tom Bourne wants it. They're side by side. And this is only going to allow Dalton McKinney to catch up even further and make it a 3-horse battle with 17 laps to go.
Well, I wonder if McKinney is just waiting in the wings. He's keeping a couple tenths as they hit getting into turn 3. That was some pretty significant contact. Wonder if he's just waiting for them to wreck each other so he can try to sneak through. Give himself ample time to do it. Bourne dives it in deep once again. Whitehead slides up the racetrack, and this time Bourne's going to get clear for the lead. Can Whitehead try the old switcheroo, the crossover? Not quite. Getting into turn 3. Now Whitehead falls back into second place. Dalton McKinney trying to follow through. No, here comes Whitehead with a run back down to the inside.
Yeah, 2 by 2, Noah's Ark style. Brock Whitehead, Tom Bourne. And here Dalton McKinney trying to do everything he can to catch up. Tapped easily right behind Dalton McKinney and Peyton Holland rounding out your top 5. As they're going to finally settle it out for right now with 14 laps to go. 14 circuits remain here at Iowa.
Whitehead able to make pretty quick work back of Tom Bourne. Can Tom try to close back in and fight that fight once again? He was racing for 5-6 laps to try to take away the race lead. Whitehead got it back done in just a lap as the caution is out. Looking towards the tail of the field, and Bill Hagan and Charlie Childress have an incident in turn number 3. Cameron Coster in it as well. He goes straight to the pits. Well, since we've got more than 10 to go, Alan, I say smoke them if you got them.
Exactly.
Oh, whoa. Okay. We were a little bit late on changing the camera angle, but that was... That was a lot happening. Let's see if we can break it down. There's Davies in the middle. Hutchison also, he's there in the middle. Contact with Childress. Yeah, they all just kind of started bouncing off each other. And Coster hits that outside wall a ton. Let's go on board with that 2 machine. Yeah, you're going to see Hutchison get stuck in the middle, and they just start bouncing off each other. Childress, then 3. Oh, man. He just locked it up, trying to keep it off of the car in front. Trying to keep it off of Henderson, and unfortunately found himself in trouble. Take a look up front. Whitehead, Holland, and Bentley. They all came in last 16 laps ago. Everybody behind them came in that last time. Looks like the first 5 are all going to be on 2 tires, while everybody behind them is on 4. Going to be 10 laps to go this time around. And again, we appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out with us live here on Sim Racing Media. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I know how tough it can get during the week when you don't have your Saturday and Sunday racing.
Exactly.
Kind of fun to have a little bit more throughout the week, Alan. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And, well, now we got some new players up here in the front.
We do. Tom Bourne came in that last time around. He took 2 tires, so he's going to have fresher right sides than Brock Whitehead. A little bit, I wouldn't say worried about the lefts, but I am thinking about them. If you want to go back to 4 tires, Teasley is the first driver on 4. He's going to be restarting in the 9th position. Top 3 on 16 lap old tires. The next 5 have fresh right sides. Everybody behind them is on 4 tires. I don't know what we're going to see here, Alan, but it's definitely going to be a mixed bag of strategy.
Oh, you threw that strategy right out the window.
Yeah, you've made your bet.
Yeah, you got a lion now. Now it's who can outdrive the other driver. Brock Whitehead off, since we're rolling here, as he has got the whole shot, if you will. And here comes Tyler Bentley in that number 55 car, a double Nichols. We got 9 laps to go out of turn number 2.
Tom Bourne looking to the outside, trying to get a position on Peyton Holland. He's got Noah Jackson just behind him. Jackson also took tires that last time around. Tom Bourne's going to work his way up into 3rd place. He's less than half a second behind the leader. 8 laps to go as they cross the stripe. Bourne looks to the outside of Bentley. Going to have himself a nice run coming up off of the corner. Crosses him over, moves down to the inside, and he's going to send it down on the inside. We know how good that 16 worked against the 31 on the inside on slightly older tires. Now with the fresher right sides, he might have a better advantage. Peyton Holland gets up into the wall. Tom Bourne completes the pass on the inside, and he's going to look already to the inside of that 31. Almost gets to the bumper of Whitehead. It's a car length at this stage in the game. I tell you what, that 16 is fast. That 87 is fast. It's going to be a tough task for the 31 to try to hold on to this lead. That time across, it's Tom Bourne by a skosh. And Allen, here comes Noah Jackson.
Yeah, Noah Jackson coming out of nowhere, getting that 2nd spot with a half a dozen laps to go. Brock Whitehead back in 3rd. Tom Bourne back up to the lead.
Kristen Rose taking over the 3rd position. Final podium spot. Battle for the lead, though, now Tom Bourne and Noah Jackson. Both drivers in the top 5 in points, trying to close in on Brock Whitehead. Within about 50 points, Noah Jackson is 51 points back, whereas Tom Bourne is 50. There's a lot on the line here in this points battle. After 7 races, this going to be the 8th one completed on the season. And look at Noah closing in ever so slightly. He's a couple hundredths quicker this time around. A couple hundredths quicker that time around. Is it going to be enough to close in and pass? With 3 laps to go, he looks down to the inside into 1. Not quite enough to make that move. Take another quick look through the field as we get ready for these final 2 laps. Just want to keep you guys updated on other battles happening. Brock Whitehead continues to fall back. Patrick McQuaid and Jeff Kleinsma battle. But Tom Bourne and Noah Jackson, 2 more circuits around Iowa in the Iowa Army Strong 200. Jackson has a strong run coming up off of turn 2, almost close enough to make the pass. Bourne defends low. Jackson has to move up the racetrack. Coming to the white flag, Jackson going to try to cross him over, get that later apex, and get that run coming up off of turn 4. 1 lap to go here in Iowa. Jackson down to the inside. Tom goes through the middle of the corner. Jackson looks down to the bottom. Is he going to push the bumper to him? He tries to. Looked like he missed a little bit. Tom Bourne going to come up off of turn number 4. Jackson gets into him, turns him around. Tom Bourne wins the race sideways over Noah Jackson by 2/100ths of a second.
Wow.
Christian Rose in third, and I tell you what, I'm sure Noah didn't intentionally. I'm sure he intentionally spun him, but I think he thought, there's no way I pass him, so I'm just going to drive through him. Not like a drive through him to win the race, but more like a, all right, well, it's over. Let's make this funny.
Right.
I don't think that was, well, we might have to talk to Noah about that, but I don't think that was any ill intent. I think it was just like, all right, I got, let me push you.
Yeah.
Tom Bourne gonna burn it down. Tom Bourne getting it done again. Bourne, Jackson, and Rose on the podium here. Bourne's just going to keep on slinging it down to the inside. Give a little what's up there. Well, we wait for Tom to get up in here and the rest of the podium finishers. We do have Noah Jackson, but give it a moment for the other guys to get in and get ready. We'll go through our results for the race. Tom Bourne gets her done over Noah Jackson. Oh man, the margin of victory says 5/1000ths of a second.
That's close.
Well, you see, he's going to try to get him on the bumper there, and I think it just kind of missed. I mean, he got as close as he can. But with those, I don't know if he had a little bit better tire than the 16, but gets into him coming up off of the corners, got him sideways, got him jacked up. And wow, that is absolutely insane. About as close as you can get. Well, let's bring Tom up in here. And Tom, it's Liam and Alan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Maybe.
Yeah. Nothing quite there. Suppose the best part about spinning on the front stretch is you can
Oh, looks
Just
like Tom
jumps-
Bourne's back in the waiting room.
just jump straight to the burnout.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, it's Liam and Alan in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, we're talking to you again here in Victory Lane, and this one definitely, I mean, it was close. I don't know if it was supposed to be that close, but man, you did an excellent job of defending there in those last 9 laps, getting up and racing to the lead, and then keeping the 87 behind you any which way you could. Talk with us about that last run to the finish. How did it feel out there, and how'd you get it done?
I learned early in the race that apparently I was turning too much and I was burning the right front off, and that's why I ultimately just dropped after about 30, 35 laps. So we throughout the entire race, I was just learning like what the driving points were to pick up the gas and everything, and me and Brock had a good battle. I noticed the left sides really weren't wearing, so when they all took 4, the second to last pit stop, I took 2, and the car felt great. And got what I needed. If it went green, I was not going to be able to hang with Brock. And then once the caution came out again, I was like, you know what? If it worked one time, an extra couple percentage of wear on the left sides are not going to hurt it probably. And we threw 2 tires on it again, and I know Noah did as well, and Ruse did, and we once I got past Brock on a couple laps into that run, I knew I just had to defend as much as I could by just trying to keep the air off Noah's nose. And luckily, me and him race with a lot of respect. It's hard, but it's clean for the most part. Not intentionally, obviously, but I knew he was going to put up a good fight. He always does, and thankfully, I somehow crossed the line first.
Yeah, that was, I mean, insane stuff. It looked like he was trying to get the bumper to you into 3, and well, he finally got it to you down the front straightaway. I mean, I guess what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not worried about it. If honestly, if he barely tapped my back bumper, just right at the worst time. Like my car was unloading onto the straightaway, and it was already light in the back end, and he, I know he meant nothing by it or anything. It made it look cool. I will say that. I wouldn't have been upset if I finished second from that. But I'm not really. It was just a little incident that no harm, no foul. I wouldn't really worry. I'm not worried about it too much moving forward.
Just an incident, as some European guy would say. But yeah, no, Tom, you come home with a win. You started on pole, and like you said, you learned early something you were doing was wrong. What was it like working your way back up through the field?
It was definitely a learning curve. I didn't have much practice coming in. I probably had 10 minutes before the race to actually jump on track and figure stuff out, and I was just learning how to actually run the track and be fast with it. And even in practice, I wasn't that fast. And then I don't know what I did in qualifying that made it different. But dirty air was such a big, big deal tonight, as it is always in the next gen car. But I don't know what happened. I felt like my car became a little better when the sun went down, but I couldn't. By the time I was ready to pass and everything like that, I just, what's it called? I just couldn't do anything once the tires started to wear, and I still never figured out how to properly save tires and run fast here. I figured a little bit out, and but by that time we'd be 40, 45 laps into a run, and I'd be probably like maybe a tenth quicker than the leader. So we needed cautions to fall the right way, and thankfully they did, and I was able to get myself into a spot where I could do that strategy call and see what would happen.
Well, before we let you go, you had a super strong run tonight. Who helps you get it done? And once again, congrats on getting that 16 font up into victory lane. I always love to see that.
Yeah, always love putting the 16 in victory lane. First off, you guys for putting on a broadcast week in and week out. Always a fantastic job. I always love watching them back. Ghost Energy, Reaper Apparel, Christian Ruse, and Ruse Kleinza Racing. I'm happy to be back for another season. Chris Hubka for putting on a very solid league for what he has to deal with and everything. So, hats off to him. And, Noah for putting up a great fight, Brock for putting up a great fight. I'm actually waiting on responding to his message right now regarding some stuff. Everybody watching, Sydney, Kira, Melissa, they're all watching and just trying to put on the best show we can. Hopefully, well, next week Sonoma. I'm definitely not finishing top 3 there, so maybe I'll be talking to you guys in 2 weeks.
Well, we'll see what happens next week. It is auto racing, so anything can happen. But we appreciate you and congrats once again on the win.
Yeah, thanks guys. Always a pleasure to come up here, and you guys keep up the good work.
All right, now we're gonna bring in a second place Noah Jackson Allen. I think you got him. Allen, you got a copy.
Yep, I got a copy. Noah Jackson. Because Alan and Liam have been up in the booth.
What's up, guys?
Oh, look, how's it going? And what more could you need out of that car to get around Tom Bourne?
For me to grow a set of balls and rattle his cage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to Tom. But really, nothing. It was just he just got a better exit than me in 2 and 4. So I wasn't gonna literally throw a freaking haymaker and take him out of the race. I wanted it to finish clean, which it kind of did. But we both didn't lift whenever we came to the start finish, so that was good, and glad he's not mad at me.
Yeah, definitely. And next week we'll go road racing at Sonoma. What's going to be the mentality as we head west into wine country and go road racing at Sonoma for 88 laps?
Just try to keep the car on the freaking racetrack. Because with all these elevation changes and everything, you're going to have to be really, really good on your brakes. And you're just going to have to just be there at the end. Just hope you can have a good finish.
Yeah, awesome job. And, this Iowa track. What did the track feel like with, the extra horsepower on here tonight?
I mean, it was really tricky. You had to you literally had to stay in your rhythm all night and just take care of the right front and the right rear so you can get a drive off. And that's why I know everybody else was doing this, or biggest majority of everybody, but I was staying in fourth gear the entire time on the long runs. That's how I was able to save my right front, and I was literally putting my left sides on the paint, and there was actually a lot of grip on the paint. So it was fun. I really liked it.
Well, good job, sir. And before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done on that number 87 car?
I'd like to thank Top It Off Saws, Hupkin Motorsports, Chevrolet, Dude Wipes, Moza, Simpson Racing Pedals, just everything that they do for us just to keep us here every week, and just got the best group with us.
Well, awesome job. And congratulations on finishing second tonight. And good luck next week at Sonoma.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Now we're going to go ahead and bring in our third place finisher, Christian Rose. That's right?
Yes, sir, it is. How's it going?
Doing pretty good, man. You had an up and down day for sure. We saw you get up to the front and lead a lap, but very quickly after that, the pit cycle dropped you back down outside of the top 10. And well, I mean, what was it like working through the traffic here at Iowa? It seemed like passing was a real premium today.
Passing was definitely a premium. Track position was huge. For me, I felt like I had a mid to long run car, but even then, I just kind of got stagnant. The short run speed wasn't there for me. Never really has been here at Iowa. A home track of mine. I wanted to do really well here, and I was content with a 8th to 10th place car, which is where I felt like I was running most of the race. I went really long on that the green flag stop. Ended up actually blowing my right front right before I came into the pits. I wanted to lead a lap, missing as many races I have so far this season. I need as many points as I can get. So I wanted to get that extra point for leading a lap. Came back out, I think it was 18th, 19th, something like that. And I just put the pedal to the metal, tried to make up as many spots as I could before the next round of stops started, which thankfully never came, because I think I would have been way out of position running as long as I did. And then coming there at the end, again, I was an 8th to 10th place car, but Tom Bourne took 2 tires there on the second to last stop. He said he could make it work really well. Saw him duck in late on the last stop, on the last caution, and I said I'm going to follow him, and hopefully it works. And I would say it paid off pretty well.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it paid off. I was going to ask what kind of charged that 2 tire decision versus 4. We saw a couple of guys take 4 there, but 2 was really the choice to make.
Yeah, 2 felt really, really good. And actually, when I came into the pits, I don't know if it was 10 laps or so on that run before the last caution there. My left sides are only down 98 or so percent. So those were hardly used. Tom said he made it work really well, taking 2 tires right before that. So I followed his decision. Did that, and it hooked up really, really well. I think that's the best the car felt all night, honestly, was with 2 fresh rights and hardly scuffed lefts. Even fresh tires, just, I don't know, I felt like I could make it stick a lot better with those fresh rights.
It's almost like a little bit of greasiness on the left sides kind of help you corner a bit better. But like you said, you kind of hovered around that 8th to 10th place range all night. What was it like running through the field on that last restart there with the 8-9 laps to go? It hooked up for you on those 2 tires.
Yeah, it definitely did. Tom, being a teammate of mine, he said he's going to try to make quick work of the guys in front of us. It was Brock and Peyton, I believe, and Thad, I believe, in the 55. He goes, I'm going to make quick work of them and try to get my way up front. And I think I restarted 6th or so. I made up 1 or 2 spots, and I was content running there. And then I saw him get past Brock, and I saw Noah in front of me get past Thad and Brock, and I just kind of caught right up to him and made my way past him pretty easily. So I was content with the 5th. I'm very happy with the 3rd. Like I said, Brock didn't put up much of a fight there. He's a hard racer. He raced me clean there. He could have tried pinching me, doing whatever. He could see kind of where the writing was at on the wall. I appreciate that. Owe him one in the future for sure. I had nothing for the leaders. Tom and Noah were pretty well gone, half a second or so ahead of me. But like I said, content with the 5th. Very, very happy with the 3rd, though.
Well, you had an awesome run tonight, Christian, and well, we're going into Sonoma next week, and we know that wine country's got its own twists and turns. But before we get there, who do you want to thank for such a strong run tonight in that number 14 machine? And what can you tell us about your strategy next week for Sonoma? How are you going to attack it?
Strategy for Sonoma is just going to be finish the race. Road course racing is not a strong suit of mine, so I'm going to start. I'm going to log laps as many as I can. Hopefully, not end up in a gravel trap or a wall somewhere. And as long as I can finish the race with a running engine and minimal damage, I think I'd be happy. As far as thanking everybody, though, huge thanks to my wife for supporting me in this. We have a newborn at home, well, month old, plus a 3-year-old, and she's having to take care of both of them while I do my racing here. So huge shout out to her for taking care of the kids for the night. Shout out to my sponsors, Smoke Pit, 1-3 Speed, Adrenaline Rush Coffee Co., Grind Sim Racing, Lafler Labor Services, and Extreme Automotive Detailing. Huge shout out to Hubka for the paint on this car. For this week, it is, like I said, a home race for me, so this is kind of cool having this year. Huge thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast every week, and honestly to the league. This was one of the best races I've seen all season. Unfortunately, I think this is only the 3rd or 4th one that I've actually made, but man, it was awesome. So, yeah, huge thanks to everybody.
Awesome stuff, man. Thank you for putting on such a great show. I mean, you are one of many, but I mean, you guys in this league, week in and week out, you perform so well. You put on great racing, and generally contact is at a minimum. So I thank the league
we
as well.
appreciate that. Well, thank you.
Awesome stuff, Christian. Congrats on the podium, and we'll see you next week in Sonoma. Who knows? We might be talking to you on the podium.
Who knows? Maybe. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
That's going to about do it for us here. We'll go ahead and show you the results before we take off. Tom Bourne, Noah Jackson, Christian Rose on your podium. Grialva got up to 4th, Teasley in 5th. Then Patrick McQuaid, Brock Whitehead, Jeff Kleinsma, Ryan White, and Tyler Bentley in the top 10. Matt Davies, Chris Hubka, Caleb Collins able to recover up to 13th, but you know it's not where he wanted to finish when that caution came out. Behind him is Dalton McKenney, Zach Woods, Wes Fuller, Peyton Holland, Tim Henderson, Bill Hagan, Charlie Childress, Charles Whitehead, Justin Hutchison, Cameron Coster, Adam Stewart, Trey Whitehead, Mark Gonzalez, Brandon Cooper, and Cole Martin. Final driver to finish this race. Super exciting stuff that we got to see here in Iowa, and I tell you what, Alan, this track doesn't disappoint. I'm excited to watch the Cup Series come back here in August. It is this year.
Exactly. I
gonna be
can't
able to
wait
make it out there?
either. I have no idea. It depends on the work schedule. I'm hoping to make it either if it's not going to be in August, it'll definitely be in September.
I tell you what, this is a phenomenal racetrack. If you haven't been here in real life, I would definitely recommend it. Racing is good, vibes are good, people are good. It's a good time. But that will about do it for us here on Sim Racing Media. We can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us, spending your Wednesday night with us. It's been amazing. But before we go, I always like to quote Cletus and say, "Do it for Dale and be like Biff." And I love to quote our old friend Tony Trapasso by saying, as you guys walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Have a good night, folks. Bow, bow.